rich man, who became a poor man, was having a hard time adjusting to his new lifestyle. Having no means of income, he tried to apply for work in the companies near their place but got rejected every time. He tried to work in a construction site but only lasted for a few days since he was not used to such physical labor. One day, he came across the village where he once lived. He saw that the people, especially his former workers, lived abundantly and happily with their new farmland. He felt a little jealous as he remembered how his life was back then. When he was about to leave, one farmer saw him and offered him lunch together with his family. The poor man was hesitant as he had never visited any of his farmer's family before, not even once, but his growling stomach betrayed him, telling the farmer that he was already hungry. The farmer smiled and led him to his house. The farmer's family was delighted to see him. They treated him as though he was still their boss. The poor man ate to his heart's content. After eating, he told the farmer's family that he would definitely pay for it. But they refused, saying it was just a small thing compared to what he had done to them. He was sure they were talking about the land that he gave them. Before he left, the family gave him freshly harvested fruits and vegetables as token of their gratitude. They even promised to help him if ever he needed their help. The farmer was a bit embarrassed upon receiving such donations from his former worker. Yet he was happy that he could already feed his family for several days with those fruits and vegetables. The next day, he decided to go back to his old farm and ask the farmer to teach him how to plant. He said it would not be for free as he will be working for him in exchange. The farmer was hesitant to let him work yet willing to help him anyway. So, he started working as a farmer in his former farmland while learning the right ways to farm. One by one, all his former workers taught him how they grow their own plants. Every day, he would go home with fruits and vegetables that his old workers gave him, and on payday, he would receive his salary just like how his former workers did. The poor man realized how much hardship his former workers have gone through when they were still under him, yet being contented despite how little their salary was. He felt sorry for them, and for himself. After 3 months, he decided to start his own garden in a small backyard that he had. First, he grew tomatoes. He would tend to them in the morning before he left for work and visit them again when he came back in the afternoon. Soon, he made his first harvest basket full of tomato fruits. He then sold them in the market and saved the money to buy additional land. So, he continued his gardening, but since his land was so small, he invented his own hanging garden. He used plastic containers, hanged them together like a ladder, and pinned them on the corners of his house. Not long after, his small house was covered with all kinds of vegetables. His harvest tripled so as his income. As his garden grew big, so as his time needed to tend to them. He quit his work in his old farm and told his boss, who was his former worker, that he would be busy with his new farm. He thanked everyone in the neighborhood for their help. Now, he already learned how to plant and take care of his own farm. The farmers were so happy upon hearing what he said. He bid them farewell and promised to see each other in the market more often. The poor gardener worked hard on his new farm until he was able to buy another portion of land. He turned the land into another set of garden. Slowly, the poor farmer was able to provide his family a comfortable life, though it wasn't the same as what they had back then. He was not as much worried as he was when his wife died. He already had knowledge on gardening, and he also had his savings. He was now ready for anything.